Chapter 20. Homers, Dunks, and TKOs. My father gave the greatest gift anyone could give another person. He believed in me. Jim Valvano. If I took performance-enhancing drugs at sleepaway camp, I would have struck out with more accelerated speed. PEDs make you stronger, but they don't come with a no-choke guarantee. Nor do PEDs automatically deliver Kate Hudson on top of your lap to tap for an overdue power surge against the Phillies in the 2009 World Series. So what does A-Rod coming to life after banging Kate Hudson in her prime have to do with homers, dunks, and TKOs? Or Kate Hudson trying to make her ex-husband, Chris Robinson, lead singer-songwriter of the Black Crowes, jealous again? Which is hard to do when you're good enough to make a record from your sold-out shows at the Greek Theater, playing nothing but Led Zeppelin covers with Jimmy Page. It comes down to confidence. What I've learned in life is that the only way to develop confidence is from the forward propelled thrust of momentum-powered winning. Growing up, I never had conversations with my dad about how Larry Bird was a gym rat or how Michael Jordan kept his workout routines top secret to maintain his competitive edge. All I recall hearing from my dad, who coached me in basketball throughout elementary school, if you went to call a coaching, was to get out of the way for Carmine to take the last shot. Carmine was a way better ball handler and shooter than me. Still, it would have been nice to have a dad who pushed me to take the last shot, instead of defining me as a soft choker, incapable of becoming a true alpha male on the court, due to my tendency to prance down the court on my tippy toes, looking like I was rocking high heels instead of high tops. If LeVar Ball were my coach dad growing up, he'd offer Rihanna future profit participation points for popping my cherry to ensure I'd feel like a bigger baller inside by losing my virginity before my younger brother did. LeVar Ball would only invite stuck-up Jenny from the block for a game of spin the bottle in my honor. 2 minutes into the party, LeVar Ball, my substitute coach dad, barks in stuck-up Jenny's ear, "The Yoo-Hoo bottle doesn't spin itself, bitch!" Carmine's father coached his firstborn son in football and turned him into a beast on the football field and on the hardwood. Carmine never hesitated or questioned his ability to drive to the hoop in heavy traffic, draw contact, and score with resounding authority. On the football field, nobody hit harder or with more technically sound proficiency as he drove you into the ground like a welterweight Dick Butkus than Carmine. The thing is, Carmine was a sweet Italian kid off the sports battlefield who wasn't a bully Guido at all. Guidos don't get enough credit for being the original metrosexuals of their time, but I digress. I haven't thought about Carmine in ages, especially his dad, who was the closest thing to a cigar-chomping clone of Vince Lombardi, mixed with the bravado panache of a more imposing barrel-chested Pat Cooper. Side note, Pat Cooper is an old-school Italian Catskills comic who still appears on the Howard Stern show. He's the Italian Don Rickles, minus the career, but a living legend, worth seeing before he chokes on his pasta fangool. I'm a Jewish New Yorker, so it's my birthright to bust balls. Plus, according to my wife, I'm a shitty actor and a wise-ass Jewish New Yorker doing a wise-ass Italian New Yorker isn't a stretch. Nor does it require much of a reconfigured accent to pull off the limited character transformation either. Back to Carmine's coach dad, who was very intense on the sidelines of football games. Basketball wasn't his real love, because I don't remember his dad attending any games at all, despite Carmine being the best clutch baller on our rec basketball team by far. Football was his father's love. So Carmine's father poured his heart and soul into turning his only son into a pounding, winning machine who left all his blood, sweat, and tears on the field. Carmine oozed passion for winning. That was more palpable than most. The hunger and drive to exert his will and dominate anyone who got in his way was a thing of beauty. I want my 3 kids to be in the game, and not just so it will look good on their college resume. I want them to be in the game because they live for taking the game winner. I want them to shoulder the responsibility of winning and push others to become clutch leaders in big moments themselves. I want my kids to believe in their ability to will a way to win, regardless of what ailment plagues them, like when Jordan beat the Utah Jazz for his 6th NBA ring despite playing with a debilitating, draining case of the flu. Hillary couldn't even make it to a campaign rally in Wisconsin because of her nervous coughing fits of despair. I want my kids to get addicted to winning so that they become hungrier for bigger, meatier conquests to conquer with all their might. I tend to be very hard on myself for not doing stand-up comedy earlier or not getting involved in my radio station at Ithaca College because I had a radio show my sophomore year when I attended Lake Forest College on the North Shore of Illinois prior. Reality is, I was a major stoner at Lake Forest, whose roommate was even bigger stoner from the big island of Hawaii. Koa was Chinese American and cousins with Bette Midler, which makes sense because he get a tad hysterical yentish. Freshman year of college, bitching nonstop about the low quality of commercial Midwest weed he was blowing a small fortune on at college compared to the higher quality, cleaner tasting, longer lasting Maui Wowie dreaming back home. Sophomore year, Kowal had his kid brother mail him the Primo $70 an eighth Crystal Spect Green Delight in peanut butter jars from home, which Kowal later mixed with Moroccan hash, courtesy of Borja and Kepa, who smuggled in their hash from Turkey in sawed up plastic bags, forgoing the price of paying a drug mule for the handling cost of delivery. In short, my brain was constantly fried during my sophomore year of college, as a direct result of playing perpetual catch-up from both spending one more extra day in Mardi Gras than I should, in addition to mixing the strongest strains of THC on this planet on a daily basis for the entire school year. I did zero preparation for my radio show, thinking that playing a 22-minute whipping post by the Allman Brothers at Phil Maurice was a wonderful use of my time. There to work on my craft, knowing I only had 30 minutes of airtime for myself on the campus radio station mic in the first place. As I explained to my kids, I half-assed my radio show at Lake Forest College. I should have shown more pride in my work. Add that to the list of things my dad never talked to me about growing up. You only take pride in your work when you care about doing the job well. And that's hard to accomplish when you're smoking $70 an eighth weed on school nights, where after only one hit, the entire movie Pink Floyd's The Wall flies by like that, and you feel like you've understood everything, but not really. Still, one day at Lake Forest College, my radio show, I did try something different with a vein of humor involving the Gamma Rho sorority and shaving cream, which was a pretty ballsy move on my part in retrospect because it wasn't as if I was face deep in high-grade Gamma Rho puss. Sure, I hooked up with a striking-looking Ecuadorian gal, Edna, in addition to a real cute hippie pothead, Nicole, who was friends with these sorority sisters, but this was the extent of me putting my mojo imprint on top of the Lake Forest College map. Before I finally lost my virginity, but not really at first, because I couldn't squeeze into the traditional hole of choice, which never felt lubricated enough, nor would I dare to watch my surging manhood disintegrate in my own hands from putting a condom on the wrong way again. Unfortunately, this upperclassman musician, as cool as she was, with her rocket queen pierced nipples, wasn't the one known for putting condoms on by the skin of her teeth. Look, I understand most boys and men fumble at the condom for the first time in the process of losing their virginity. Still, having some semblance of a winning streak with any girls in high school would have provided much-needed momentous might in this instance. If my dad had pushed me to sign up for kung fu lessons in junior high, I'd be a more centered, less fretful putz at 20 years old. I wouldn't have felt like such a stupid, useless jerk-off in the presence of a willing, busty, giving upperclassman ready to pounce and make my wet dreams come true. Watching my 7-year-old daughter launch another wiffle ball long and hard against the back of our humble abode as she rides the bull on her yellow wiffle bat is a thing of beauty. Watching my 4-year-old son, Archo USA, whiz catchable Johnny U-tight spirals down the stairwell from mini football into my arms again and again this morning was a better feeling than pure E kicking in. My 20-month-old Samuel mimicking push-ups downstairs on our new Rocky rug, resembling more of a downward dog dry hump, will soften the most hardened of hearts. Hillary Hammertime Cankles excluded. Both of my sons said ball for their first words because they spent so much time at the park with their stay-at-home comedian dad. For Matilda, it was Dada. The role of life coach for my 3 kids is by far the most empowering role of a lifetime. Like Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man before he started acting funnier than he actually is in real life. All 3 of my kids listen to me because they respect me. They listen to me because they see the positive results of my tutelage. Matilda conquers every new set of monkey bars with relentlessness, making them her bitch every time. Arthur is now doing the same. Nor was he previously threading tight spirals of any kind. Samuel is already doing 5-pound kettlebell raises at 20 months old, freaking multitasking as we're watching The Goldbergs on Hulu, reliving my age of innocence. The Goldbergs, the 1 years for Gen X, is basically my pitch for my pilot trilogy, Heavy Metal High, which I had pitched to VH1 Classic, except Dice plays my imaginary life coach, whenever my manhood is under siege. And the Goldbergs, great show, by the way. Tremendous writing in it. The father pushes his son to get into shape so he can do a pull-up for the new national fitness test instituted by Ronald Reagan. At first, his mom gets a letter from the president excusing him. In the end, the nerd kid in love of movies like Red Dawn does the chin-up and gets commended by the coach for a job well done. The father watches this all go down from the door of the gym, pumping his hands up in triumphant victory. He gave his son the gift of believing in him. Plus, he gave his son the gift of getting him addicted to winning, so he become hungry for more. Homers, dunks, and TKOs won't be in the kid's future, but greater confidence in himself to overcome past paralyzing obstacles built up in his head will. John Wooden, Hall of Fame coach of the UCLA Bruins, said, "Failing to prepare is preparing to fail." And that job is on me, being the involved do-it-all dad that I am. As a father, if you can't get excited about your role as life coach of your kids' educations to ensure they become more big-time than you, then you're a self-serving, miserable cunt of a human being. I'm making sure my kids are prepared to know what hard work and self-belief is necessary to become bigger deal dream makers than the rest.